Go.
Hi, I'm Brandon.
Hi, I'm Angelo.
Hi, I'm Michael.
Hi, I'm Julius.
Alright, today guys, what we're going to be going over, we're going to be covering some information about fishing in Alaska. A few things that we're going to cover is going to be the safety in Alaska, the type of fish that you can look forward to catching when you're there, and the locations, because you can't go fishing in Alaska unless you know where you're going, right? So, that's what we're going to be covering. Next slide, please. So here's going to be our objective. I'm going to be informing you guys on how to properly fish in Alaska and the safety measures, type of salmon, fishing locations. Next, please. Here's why we're going to talk about safety. I don't know if you guys can see this really well, but we have a gentleman down here in the bottom left-hand corner, and what exactly is he doing? He is taking a picture of the two probably 500 to 800 pound grizzly bears in the water for whatever reason. Does it look like this individual has a good, safe vantage point to exit the water if one of those grizzly bears starts to charge at him? Absolutely not. Now, one thing I also notice is, looking at the gentleman, I cannot see a sidearm on his person anywhere. I don't see any bear spray or anything of that nature. And you also notice the individuals at the top left of the corner there, just kind of hanging out in the water, continuing to fish. This is not what you want to do, and that's what we're going to learn about here in the safety block. So, after we're finished with this speech today, you guys are going to understand what to do to be safe. Next, please. So for the safety in Alaska, as you just learned that there are bears up there in Alaska, there are quite a few bears. They're very, very prevalent. The biggest thing about the bears, the Alaska Department of Fish and Game tells us that bears are very much prone to getting away from the noise. They don't like the noise, and they don't like to be surprised. So it's very, very good to maintain a loud aura whenever you're walking through the woods. So what you do is tie a bell to your backpack or something of that nature. The next thing is tell people where you're going. Out there in Alaska, it's a very large location, very large areas. It's easy to get out there and get lost, especially when you don't have, even if you have a cell phone on you, a lot of times it doesn't work out in that area. So it's best to tell somebody where you're going to be, what area you're going to be traveling, and what time they should expect you back. Those are good things that can keep you safe while you're there. As far as fishing safety goes, what do you do with your fish when you put it on your live line? So you've caught your fish already, you've got some fish on your live line, which is what you tie around your waist. The best thing to do is have two live lines. My experience is to have a live line that you connect somewhere to a tree that you can easily go to and cut. You cut that live line. If a bear comes, feed that bear with that live line. That's okay to do in Alaska. It's not against the law. You have the rest of your fish on your person, so you're good to go. You've taken care of the bear, got him out of the way, there's no threat, and you still got your fish that you've already caught. So it's kind of a win-win situation. Next, please. Next slide. So that brings us to the next thing. So we've already learned about some safety stuff. We know how to be safe in the woods. We know how to be safe in the water. So let's learn about some of the types of salmon you can experience out there. The king salmon and the red salmon. So the king salmon is among the largest of the salmon family. It is the largest salmon family. They can run anywhere from 15 pounds to 99 pounds, which is one of the largest ones recorded to history. And you can find that information on Anchorage.net. So anywhere from 20 pounds to maybe 2 pounds, all the way up to 100 pounds. That's a big fish. So those are the largest of the species. You can find those in various different locations. We'll cover that a little bit later. And I've got some good pictures for us as well. The next one is going to be the red salmon. And that is one of the first salmon to run throughout the year. You can find the information on that at alaska.org. They got a lot of really good information on there about the run times and things of that nature. Let's go ahead to the next slide. We'll see some pictures of these two. So this here is a king salmon that I caught out of the Cook Inlet. We're not going to learn a whole lot about that, but we'll learn about the Kenai River. You can find the king salmon most prevalent in the Kenai River. And this one weighed about 40 pounds uncleaned. I cleaned her up, gutted her and everything. She weighed about 20 pounds. She was full of eggs. So next slide. So these are the red salmons. As you can see here, they usually don't get very large, but they do weigh considerably, as far as the type of fish that you're catching here. Again, you can catch these in the Kenai River. Next, please. All right. So now we've learned a little bit about the two types of fish that you can most commonly see. We're going to learn about where you can fish for these at and the times of the year they're going to run. And then I'll kind of give you a better idea of what you can expect and when you can expect to need to go. So the Kenai River, that's where you're going to fish for the king and the red salmon. So king and reds run in the Kenai River. There's a lot of other fish that also run there, but we're just going to be talking about the kings and the reds here. Early June through September, you can get that information at KenaiRiversideFishing.com. They have a lot of really good information there. You can also book trips and stuff there through that website as well. So early June through September, the best time of the year that I have found out of experience is around the end of August before September, because that's when the slower of the king salmon are running through that river and they're tired. So that's the best time to get them. Okay. For the Russian River, that's going to be the red salmon. Now you can fish for other fish in there, but the red salmon's the best there. Early May through June, you can get that from Mr. Van Leer Taylor. You can look his information up. He's got a lot of great publications on Alaska fishing. The man's been up there for years as a Alaska fishing guide and hunting guide. So he's very well published, and he has a lot of really good information. Let's go ahead and see some pictures of these locations. Next slide. So this is the Kenai River. As you can see, it's quite large. I don't know if you can tell the blue hue there, but the water actually runs off of the glacier. So it's very, very cold. You will absolutely need the trousers that you see a lot of people fishing with. So you're going to need those. It's very, very cold water. Next slide, please. And yet again, we got some more bear. This is the Russian River. It's the most common area that you're going to see the bear. This water you can walk through. All right, so it's very important that you make sure you monitor your locations, monitor where you're at, and know what's around you. As you can see, these are just walking here. I took this picture. I'm just 25, 30 feet away. What you don't see in the photo is I have one of my fishing partners with me, and he also has a weapon. So we're actually quite safe. We're also making noise. So it keeps the bears away, and it keeps them intuitive. They know where you are. They're going to stay away from you. Okay, next slide. Just some information on the Kenai River, and you can see here, I'm just going to step in front here. You get the Kenai River running all the way down into the Sikiak Lake, down in the Sladalton area. Just some information for you. Next slide. Okay, the happy slide. This is the one everybody likes. So just to kind of rehash a little bit of the information we covered. We covered safety in Alaska. What are we always going to have? We're going to have some kind of bell with us, all right, to make noise, or we're just going to talk, carry on a casual conversation, because there are a lot of bears out there. We discussed the king and the red salmon. King salmon we're going to find in the Kenai River, red salmon, Russian River, and we learned about the Kenai and the Russian River. Thank you guys. I hope now that you have a very good understanding of how to fish there, and I think everybody will be safe. Got to stop it quickly.